reverse license even working. We never even looked at those, but it seems to have made a comeback all by itself. Super Cat looking good, making it happen. That's what we're trying. There are a lot of dry counties, no beer in Texas. Plan your stop accordingly. The man has a point. About the dry. We don't want to stop in a dry county.
No, I don't think
we
so.
need a beer. We need a beer. I think we deserve a beer by now. I keep talking about having a bourbon, and then we get back to the motel and we're so exhausted we just collapse into bed and that's it. Space Cat 72 breaking the mill back in, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that depends what you mean exactly by that. I mean, I think certainly with the amount of hours we put on it, I think we've cleared out the oil control rings, you know, we've got rid of any, and we run a bit of ATF through it, which is meant to clear the rings. So, you know, we've done that. You know, so I think the rings have freed up a bit and are doing the best they can, you know. I think we're giving the oil control rings the best chance they have. Miko 1. Poster is a decent restaurant, but I think I would have found you something better. Oh well. Yeah, sorry man, that's how it goes, but I mean thanks for the offer. That would have been cool. But maybe on the next one. We're gonna do a next one, Steve.
We've already been talking.
Well yeah, it's true, we have.
I don't really think that all of our oil is consumption.
No.
I mean, we've got some leaks.
Oh, we do have some.
We've got some leaks. So
Yeah.
so I don't think it's burning a quart every 150 miles.
Right.
I would say maybe you know, 3/4 of a quart. The rest of it's just kind of leaking out.
Yeah. The timing cover, like the crankshaft seal, is leaking fairly well.
Yeah.
Like you stop the car and have a look, and there's oil dripping off the timing mark indicator. So you know, there's oil around. There's no doubt. Yeah, what do you expect? Like, it's certainly not complaining. Sun is in your mirror. You're headed in the right direction. How true? How true? Joe Bander, that's one long route. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to look out the windows and see the fins.
Yeah, the big fin.
Yeah, every time you turn around, you see that fin, and you almost think there's something in the back, and then you go, oh, it's a fin.
Space Cat 72, that's awesome. When you first mentioned the trip, I was like, cool. Yeah, it's been, it's got to be, I got to say, it's pretty good. It's really nice that everyone, nice is a lot. It's kind of exciting that everyone else is excited about diesel exhaust sounds better today. Really? You think so? I mean, it's kind of sounds better to me, but I don't know why it would be. Yours is a bit different than most Christian revivals. This was laying on of wrenches. Yes, it was. There was a lot of wrenches flying. Oil leaks spreading the protectant around. We're just trying to lubricate America. old advertising on the side or on the roof maybe. Yeah, you get a big old billboard on the roof. James Matthew, it was a commercial in the day about 2 chickens from Arkansas going to Oregon. Okay. Stray Bullet, what's the little blue sports car in your shop, Kiwi? Well, okay. That is a Sunbeam Alpine. And that is, what are we looking at?
See that wagon?
What wagon?
57 wagon up on jack stands.
Oh, 57 Chevy?
Yeah.
No, we just drove past a 57 Chevy wagon up on axle stand, somebody's project. That's cool. Yeah, back to the little blue sports car. That's a Sunbeam Alpine. That is going to be Mrs. Kiwi's toy weekend car. It's a pretty rusty old girl, but gonna fix it. Gonna do all sorts of body modifications to it. It's gonna be fairly wild. We're gonna put it on a Mazda Miata floor pan. To get some modern suspension in it.
Cadillac.
Old Cadillac.
58 Impala.
58 Impala. There's a few old cars on the side of the road.
Texas has got all the cars.
Yeah. Yeah, that Alpine, we're going to put a V8 in it. I'm kind of going backwards and forwards in that. I was originally going to go small block Ford. Then thought about an LS swap for it, being a little bit more modern motor and all aluminum. Then I'm going to flip back to the Ford again. So I don't know. We got a lot of work to do before we have to make a final call on the powertrain. So yeah, that's going to be a neat one. Obviously, that's going to be, you're going to be seeing bits and pieces on that before too much longer. Rust equals character. Yeah, rust equals character in dollars. What town are we close to now? I think the next decent sized town is Abilene, Texas. Radio deletes just had a little panel the size of the radio that went in here, but this has got the whole panel is just no radio hole, so that's a little unusual. So, but it's got tinted windows, which was an upgrade. But I guess it, back in '59, he said $8 for a radio. No, not having that. So yeah, I guess that's just how they roll back then. Kiwi, are you driving somewhere between the live streams? Don't let Steve have all the fun. Man, honestly, yeah, I drove on the first day of the road trip, which was really only a quarter of a day, and Steve's quite happily jumped in and just taken over the driving, and I'm kicking back and trying to answer people's comments on YouTube and doing the live streams. And yeah, I'm quite happy. Steve's very confident in what he's doing. He understands the old cars. He's not overdoing it. So yeah, I'm just kicking back and relaxing. He's enjoying it. So yeah, both of us are happy. I'm going to get to drive it. So fastback project in there, which is a regular Cougar we grafted a 69 Mustang roof onto. Steve is a good driver. Straight Bullet says you're a good driver, mate.
Keep it between the ditches.
That's the one. Urkos said, Steve, just pop it on cruise control, engage auto drive and kick back.
I have been thinking about maybe sticking a stick in the seat or something.
Want to hold the throttle?
Yeah, cruise control.
Cruise control, yeah. We just widen up the idle. Mike Brunello, is that a 318 poly in the wagon? Yes, it is. It is. 318 poly. You've kind of got to wipe the oil away a little bit to see that it is in fact a poly. But yeah. James Matthew, you going to swap the Hemi into it? I'm thinking so. You know, I had a look around a little bit last night when we got in to see what's available for the polys, and there's really not much available. You can't even get aluminum valve covers, you know, like there's really not much in the way of pretty stuff for it. Not much performance stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning back towards the Hemi, the 392. I would not put a late model Hemi in it. I just don't think that fits with this car. So yeah, the Hemi is very likely. Fantasy football dragon, does she fire right up in the morning? Well, this morning there was ice on the roof of the wagon, and yeah, a couple of pumps helped the choke on. It fired but didn't catch on the first go. Second hit of the key, fired up, just kept running. We let it warm up for 5 minutes. It's good to go, golden. Yeah, I must admit, after we first got it going, I was a little worried that, you know, starting it up stone cold might be a little challenging, but she's just fine. Temperature, yeah, we don't know. Temperature gauge doesn't work, and we're just going by smell-o-meter, and she's never smelled hot at any point. It has not used a drop of water. You know, you pop the hood open, and it's not hot. It's just a normal temperature, not hot at all. So yeah, cooling doesn't appear to be a problem at the moment. Touch wood, and yeah. Cherry tea, it's running well. I'm impressed. Man, nobody's more impressed than me and Steve. I tell you, like, we were there trying to get this old girl to run, and she did not want to run. And I thought, man, we've kind of failed before we even started. I didn't think we were going to get it to run, but we did. Wayne Buzzle says, ditches be crazy. Yeah, I know what you really mean, but yeah, James Matthews, what oil pressure reading? We only have an oil pressure light, and that goes out immediately. When it's up to full temperature, it doesn't flicker at idle or anything like that. So, I'm going to say it's got good oil pressure. How much? I don't know. Hi from Paraparaumu, New Zealand. What speed are you cruising along at on the highways? Look, we're sitting at about 60 mile an hour, which is why if you're watching, like, the semi-trucks are just smoking by effortlessly. You know, they're doing 70, 75, we're doing 60. And that's okay. We're driving a very old lady, and, we've got to give her a little bit of due respect and just not push it too hard, You wouldn't expect your grandma to run a marathon, would you? Like a sprint, but we're doing a marathon, but yeah, there'll be no sprinting. Redneck, definitely a car you don't see every day. No, which is, that's, I do like the unusual cars, the things that you just don't see that often. Like, I've got tucked away in the back of the yard, I've got a 57 Buick hardtop, and I got that because it was different. I would not buy a 57 Chevy hardtop just because they're all over the place. You go to a hot rod show, there's 10 of them, but you don't see many 57 Buicks. So yeah, you don't see many 59 Plymouth wagons. rolled up to pick it up from the dealership when it was brand new, and all sparkly red and white. And, you know, someone's like seriously pride and joy. This was, and now she looks a little weather beaten. But you know, I mean, obviously this old girl's got some memories. Must have a good highway gear in it. It's not geared tall. I've been in a few different cars over the years, obviously, and this is not a tall gear. But I'd say it's a 3 to 320-ish kind of gear. So yeah, it's revving along a bit. We've had it up to 70 and it's starting to rev a little bit. I mean, we've got no rev counter, so you just got to go by ear. John Thompson, it gets along at 60 very well, considering that's the speed limit here in New Zealand. Yeah, well that's right, we're just doing the old 100 Ks. So yeah, the thing is, you know, we got this thing, I've got it insured, we've got a one-way tag on it, so we're all legal, but you know, who needs a hassle from the cops? Like really. Now Chris Deisner, what do you think you're getting miles per gallon? I've been actually keeping it, it's been quite easy because we're stopping a lot, because we've got a small fuel tank, and we were averaging, the best we've seen today is just on 18 miles to the gallon, and I think it's been down to about 17, so it's been pretty consistent around that 17, 18 today. Yesterday I figured we averaged about 16 to the gallon, and we'd have to be averaging a solid 17 and a bit today, which is pretty surprising for a tired old girl. It's doing well. Of course we're only doing 60, I'm sure that would go down if we were doing 70, 75, we'd be working harder. So yeah, but I'm pretty happy with that. It's not, the gas bill is not going to break the bank. I think the accommodation is going to cost us more than gasoline, you know. Drab, yeah, likely that is exactly the speed it's geared to cruise at. Old speed limit in most of the US. Well, that's right, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Well, it's a big old train coming. Double decker. 1, 2, 3, 4 engines on it. They move some stuff, don't they? It costs, gas stations should charge you 19.59 prices out of respect.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Wouldn't that be nice? Did you all manage to get the lights to work? Yes, we did. We should probably. Oh, you got the lights on? Yeah, the headlights are on.
Yeah, I got the headlights on.
Dash lights don't work. The interior light doesn't work. That's okay. Where are you now? We're just approaching Abilene, Texas. So we're over halfway. Yeah, halfway was a wee while back. So we're figuring on rocking into Franklin probably late tomorrow evening sometime. So, which will be nice. Nice to get back to. We've had a blast, we really have. But it's going to be nice to get back to my own bed, and I'm sure Steve feels the same. And you know, he doesn't have to listen to me snore, and I don't have to listen to him snore, so that's a bonus. James Matthew, I think it's friggin' awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks. It's we think it's friggin' awesome. It's yeah, we're having a blast. Box of chocolates wants to know how many chocolates you've bought. How much chocolate milk has Steve bought? Somebody wants to know how much chocolate milk have you bought?
As a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact?
100%. As a matter of fact, I have not had a chocolate milk since I left.
Right. That's
very unusual.
That's some kind of an inside joke?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think we're going to have to change that now.
Oh, okay. Paul, it's always easier to stay legal. It really is. It really is. Stray Bullet, the proud original owner, would have to be 85 years old if they're still alive. They'd have to be. I mean, the car's 65. Probably not many 20-year-olds were buying brand new cars. Studebaker Larry, and where are we now? We're just approaching Abilene, Texas. Alpines were rusty when new, Michael Russell. Yeah, that's probably, I mean, I didn't see one when it was new, but probably they were, yeah. The one we've got is part of the reason for switching it onto a Mazda chassis or floor pan is the Alpine does not have a floor pan. I took the driver's seat out of it, you know, part of the tear down, and all I did was reach in and lift it out, and a little bit of the floorboard came with the anchor points, and we just put it in the corner and left it. So yeah, completely unnecessary to unbolt it. Let's just catch up with these comments. What are your plans for the old girl? Really a little bit to be decided. I mean, I'm not going to like pro-mod it or, you know, like make a you know, like try and turn it into a muscle car, but I'm definitely thinking of a Hemi, an old school Hemi, and just some wide white walls, some hubcaps, you know, some nice hubcaps, and just make it a little bit of a sleeper, really. Just look like a cruisy old you know, child hauler, kiddie hauler, but actually have a little bit of get up and go in it, you know. Mopar Den, you should have a sign in the back window. Live on YouTube. Think of the extra views you'd get. Well, you might be right there, yeah. That's a good idea. Joshua Mower, what's your opinion on the Ford 8-inch rear that came in a 289 Mustang from the factory? It's a really good rear end. That's my opinion. It's stronger than people seem to think. You can give it, you can put a fair bit of, you know, you put a limited slip in it and a couple of good parts, and you can light those things up. They're pretty strong. You know, unless you go in like big horsepower, you know, don't be in a hurry to put a 9-inch in it. That's really, unless you're kind of north of 400 horse, you really don't need it. And we've done a number of them with 331 strokers, making 420 horse, and they haven't broken, they're still going. When you're going to get to the racetrack, put sticky tyres on it and give it hell, then yeah, you need to get a 9-inch. But the 8-inch is going to live with most of what you're going to give it on the street, unless you're really hard on mechanical gear. Now, who have we got here? Claire Ann McCloskey. Oh, that's not what I want. Hang on. Hello from Tennessee. Nice stopping by your shop last year. Man, I'd like to say I remember. I do get a few visitors, and I'm always happy to get visitors. So, they do tend to blend a little bit, unfortunately. So I'm not quite. What car did you have, eh? Uncle Tony should escort you in the last 200 miles. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you guys need to get over there and put some comments like that on his post and tell him he needs to get out here and support the troops, you know. Paddle my own canoe, good way to see the country without going too fast. That's absolutely right. Breaker, black sheep here. Studebaker Larry, yep. My shop is in Franklin, Tennessee, right in pretty much in the heart of Franklin, Tennessee. How long will you drive in the dark? Well, we're kind of really wanting to get to Dallas, and at the moment GPS is getting us in there at 10 headline gasoline price 30 cents a gallon. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Jay Weiss, Smokey and the Bandit. The cheapest gas we've seen is in Texas. Or California. No, definitely not California, man. The last bunch of gas stations we've gone past, they've all been under, not much under, but under $3 a gallon, like $2.85, $2.90, that kind of thing. Jeremiah Sullivan, I'm really enjoying this series. Well, it's good, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's kind of what, that's what we're shooting for. Uncle Buzz, where are you? We're heading into, we're not far out of Abilene, Texas. Strange Customs. Just had a look at UT's farewell and that video they made. Aussie movie, including an Aussie flag. I hope you explained the difference to him. That was Dr. Art made that, and I think it was only barely an Australian flag. But yeah, he was just messing about. He's not, that's not what he does, but he was really just messing about with some AI, making some videos. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, I noticed the flag, but mate, that's nothing. You're going to stop at Buc-ee's in Dallas. That's the plan, isn't it? Aren't we stopping at Buc-ee's in Dallas somewhere?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
100%. We're waiting. We're waiting for Buc-ee's.
We're waiting for Buc-ee's.
Probably the only...
Probably what?
Buc-ee's and In-N-Out Burger is probably the only reason I even came on this trip.
Not for my bloody stimulating conversation. That wasn't why you came? Really? I'm hurt. That's what they can't. He's an Aussie flag. Oh, now easy fella, easy fella. Uncle Buzz, I was born in Sweetwater. Okay. My mum lived in Abilene and worked there in the hospital. Well, we'll be going through town shortly. Tell her to come say hi. If she's still with us, hopefully. 3 nights a week. Last of the V8s. She sucks nitro, fuel injection, suicidal. Mad Max. Sounds like fun. Uncle Buzz, nothing's cheap here in California. Well, that's the truth. Ooh, I filled up this morning here in Ontario, Canada at $1.34 a litre. What's that work out at? About $5.20 a gallon, something like that. We had one of the Kiwis was on here earlier, and it's $3 a litre in New Zealand. So yeah, could be worse for you, man. It costs slowest cannonball run ever, but the most interesting. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. All my Lexuses live in Texas. That's a good one, Danny. All my Lexus live in Texas. I'm struggling to keep up with all the comments, guys, so if I miss you, I'm sorry. Bilefly, this is like tracking Santa Claus across the country. Thank you, Uncle Buzz. Smash that like button. That will help. That helps. You could also... Oh, Eric's suggesting we could Mad Max out the wagon. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty cool option, but no.
I would say at least some flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers out the tailpipes.
Well, Urkos is suggesting a gun turret on the roof. What are you smoking over there in California, Eric? Like, come on.
We do already have the oil slick.
Yeah, that's true. We have got the oil slick.
We've got the oil slick.
We're laying down the oil slick. Jonathan Matthew, glad to have you along, man, while you were here. Thank you. What have we got there? A bunch of old cars. Oh, an old Nash. There's quite a few old cars to see here cruising through Texas. Seriously. Minigun exhaust chips. taking Route 66. Yeah, I mean, it came up in conversation, but particularly with the weather, the way the weather's been on at this particular time of the year, like we've taken the low road to stay away from the snow. I really don't think this old girl would have done well in the snow, like open diff and yeah, so long and heavy, like yeah, we kind of had to try and avoid that. So yeah, but you know, I really do think we'll do another one of these road trips. It won't be next month. It may not even be this year, but we'll just see. You see what turns up too. Like this, I had no plans of doing anything like this, and then I was over in California visiting some relatives over there, and I just had a sneaky look on Facebook when I had a few spare minutes, like Facebook Marketplace, and this Plymouth wagon just popped up, and I'm like, man, I gotta own that somehow. So then I hatched a plan on justifying why I needed it. That was the biggest challenge, and you know, how to get it, when to get it, and then putting, you know, getting Steve on board and along to come along, because this is not something I'd want to do on my own. So you know, having Steve along was really genuinely made it possible, and then the help from everyone that's helped has made it possible. So you know, I'm the one reaping the benefits. So yeah, I'm feeling fairly humble, pretty grateful. Yeah. Right, where's those comments gone? The factory luggage rack might be an awesome addition. Man, if I could find a factory luggage rack, it'll be going on. That's a no-brainer. Jay Wise, do you get the wife approval to buy it? Well, you know, I mean, what do they say? Happy wife, happy life. You know, you've just got to. It's a sales pitch, you know. You just got to explain why it's a good idea. And yeah, you know, I mean, I don't rule with an iron fist in my house. It's definitely a bit more of a democracy. So, and you know, without her help and you know she works hard. She's flying as we speak. She's flying from Florida to back to Franklin, because she's got a full-time corporate job and she's traveling all the time. She works pretty hard, and obviously that helps. You know, helps the family budget. So you know, I can't be running around just having a good time all the time while she's working. So yeah, but we work it out. We work it out. It works out good. Danny Boyd, that right side. Well, that right side mirror is not very useful at all because there's no mirror in it. But I do think it would be useful. Yeah, I keep looking over there. They're a little bit far away for it, you know, compared to it being on the door, but you can see out of them. Yeah, Mike, better to ask forgiveness than permission. Well, I mean, that, yeah, there's some truth to that, brother. Jay Wise, life is too short. Well, this is it, you know, like, it is short, and I did think long and hard about doing this, and it's like, you know, I can't really time-wise afford to wait another 10 years to try and do this. I mean, we've worked our butts off, like, getting that cast iron torque flight back in was, you know, that was physically challenging. It really was. It was heavy. And, you know, we did a lot of hard work, and, you know, there comes a point where you just can't do that anymore. Colin and Joe. Oh, hey, Colin, how you doing, man? Length and weight, how does it compare to your aircraft carrier, as we called it when you ran at Bay Park all those years ago? Man, that has to be 40 years ago. All of 40 years ago. The aircraft carrier is referring to as a car I had back in New Zealand. It was a 66 Buick Electra, which was a behemoth of a car. Yeah, I think that was bigger than this wagon, honestly. That was pretty big. That was 19 foot something, and this is 18 foot something, I believe. So yeah, it's probably a similar weight. Not as wide, not quite as wide, not quite as long, but big. Yeah, that's really cool that you're on here, Colin. I appreciate it, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. It's pretty cool for me when old friends are on watching me drive across America, or actually, you know, to be fair, get chauffeured across America. You know, just living the dream and sharing that with old friends. You know, you don't have a lot of 40 plus year friends, and they're precious, you know. Firefly, 6-volt lights. Yeah, I think we have a little bit of a headlight alignment issue, because that's actually on high beam, and I've got to lift the camera up for you to even be able to see where that right hand headlight's hitting the road, let alone out in the distance. So yeah, our range is, we're blinding a lot of earthworms, if there was any earthworms on the interstate, but you know what I mean.
Looking for quarters.
Looking for quarters, that's it. Stray bullet, that math makes the old wagon pretty valuable. Yeah. Ricky Forbes, 225 inches, deuce and a quarter. Yep. Is that what the 225 was for? Was that 225 inches? Ah, if it is, I didn't know that. Make a run at Sweet Money deal. Uncle Buzz, I'll be renting it to drive to. This is Uncle Buzz. Lights look a little cockeyed. Yeah, that would be putting it mildly. This she's had, someone's run into something with the, just lightly, couldn't really call it a crash, but someone's run into something with that right front fender. So we got them working. That's legal. They're not legally required to be pointing exactly the right direction. They're not pointing up and blinding anybody, so it's all good. This would make a bitchin' Uber vehicle. We talked about that, didn't we? Urkos is saying this would make a bitchin' Uber vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That would be fun. Oh, look, I'd do it if they'd let me. If Uber would let me, I think it'd be hysterical to just pull up, you know, and you know, take someone to the airport in this thing. Or better yet, pulling up at a bridal, like a what do they call it, a hen's night.
Oh.
Yeah. Up to a hen's night in downtown Nashville and carting a bunch of young drunk girls around. That'd be awesome.
Chucking the keys to the valet.
Yeah, there you go. Uncle Buzz had friends in Hendersonville, Gallatin area. Yeah, Hendersonville's about an hour from me, kind of. That's on the opposite side of Nashville from me. Oh, Mexican Specs with us. Hey buddy, how you doing? Man, the comments are coming thick and fast, which is good. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the live. Eric wants to know, are our OBD2 specs all in readings, all in spec? Have you checked the OBD2 readings? No? I don't think he knows what you're talking about. I do though, Eric. Everything is perfectly in spec. Where in Texas are they? % liberal. We've got to be close. We must be close, are we?
Actually, we're coming into we're coming into Sweetwater.
Oh, we're coming into Sweetwater.
Then Abilene.
Then Abilene. I got that wrong. Sorry, guys. No check engine light. No, we got no check engine light. We do want to have a red light on the dash, but we figured out that's high beam, so it's all good. First time I saw that, it's like, oh, what's that? And then I realised it was a high beam, because you can't tell it's on high beam looking out the windshield. I can tell you that. tainted with the flavour of burning oil. Ricky Fuchs, I'm in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I know Bowling Green quite well. A good friend of mine used to live up there. Been there a number of times. Wayne Buzzle, how about a vintage surfboard for the top? That'd be cool. We could put a surfboard on the roof rack. That'd be pretty cool. What do you reckon?
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. Christopher Horner hitting Dallas around 10 p.m. Definitely going to be better for traffic. And well, we're actually going to stop on the far side of Dallas, so we don't have to deal with the traffic in the morning. Jay Wise, hey Kiwi, I bet you watched Dallas and lived in when we lived in New Zealand. Oh yeah, that was sort of compulsory viewing. Dallas was a big, the TV show Dallas was a big deal back in the day. That was prime time viewing. Yeah, and yeah, as you say, here I am, a couple of years later. ATF in the oil, which is meant to be a really good cleaning agent. It's got a lot of detergent in it. We put that, we put a quart of that in. I'm pretty sure that's all burnt and gone now. Yeah, it's screwing along. She's ticking along well. Eric says he may have left a screwdriver back at Lee's place. Can we double back and check?
We're going to UPS that.
Yeah, we have to UPS that. I think it'll just be cheaper to buy you another screwdriver, but yeah. Wayne looking good, had 3 Falcon Sprint. This guy here, his favourite all-time car is a 63 Falcon Sprint.
Yes.
He has just got like a major thing for those cars. Take the car to Dallas and see JFK's last spot. Yeah, well, yeah, that's where he was. That's where he was assassinated, wasn't it? Josh H, you're only half a day away from home. It's about 10 hours. We've been kind of Googling stuff with Google Maps as we go. Dallas to Franklin is about 10 hours, and that seems to be based off more of a 70 mile an hour speed, and we're doing 60 and having quite a few gas stops because this fuel cell we put in is only 12 gallons, so we're doing about 150 miles and stopping. And then because the fuel cell's under the floor in the back, we got to pull our bags out. Every time we fill it, we got to pull the bags out, lift up the rear floor, fill the tank, put it back down, put the bags back in. So yeah, it's taking a little while, not long, but it's just a little bit longer, and we're doing twice as many fuel stops as you typically would. So like 10 hours according to Google is actually taking about 12. So yeah, we figure if we start early in the morning, we should be back sort of 12 hours later. So we're going to try and hit the road about 7 tomorrow morning. We can drag our butts out of bed and hit the road. And obviously that's not allowing for any breakdowns, any issues. And you just don't know. She's behaved so far, but touch wood, it's going to keep going that way. Mark's saying it sounds like that engine is running smoother the further you drive. you getting that sense? Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I swear the sound it makes has changed. It seems to be getting quieter, which makes no sense at all. But it is what it is, it does seem quieter. I mean, I know the mufflers aren't getting newer, so it must be something in the engine. Yeah, but yeah, it just seems smoother. It's just sounding healthier, really, which, like I said, make a lot of sense, but hey, I'm more than happy to take it. Jeremiah Sullivan, I'm looking for a 67 Mustang fastback if you know one for sale. I don't know of any good ones for sale right now, but I mean that could change on Monday, Glenn Nickerson says good taste, Steve.
What's that?
Glenn Nickerson says good taste, Steve.
Oh, thank you,
Good
sir.
taste. Yeah, between the 63 Falcon Sprint and his 63 Oldsmobile 98. Yeah, that's a couple of nice cars. Yeah, Mexican spec, you're right. When they come up for sale, people grab them, that's no doubt. Drab, I would much like a Falcon Sprint myself. They're pretty cool little cars. I don't know whether you guys know, but I've one of my little fleet, I don't have that many cars, is a 63.5 Falcon convertible, which is, it's a pretty cool little car. 260 V8 and 2-speed auto from the factory. So yeah, that's a cool little car. Mostly original paint too. Alan's saying you're halfway home. We're a bit past halfway home now. Yeah, I think we're about 1,200 miles into like a 2,000 mile journey, so round figures. Christopher Horner, is the original gas tank worth saving? Well, you can't buy them. Nobody's reproducing them. But having a brief look at it, like we brought the fuel cell with us. There was we weren't even contemplating using the old tank because we just don't know what's in it. If it's got holes in it, we didn't know any of that. But looking at it when it was up on the rack, it actually looks to be in pretty good shape, which is unusual. One of the reasons, and there's no cap on the gas tank, so anything could have crawled down in there and lived in there. If it ever rained up in the desert, the water would have gone straight in. But in saying that, looking at it externally, it looks to be in great shape. But time will tell. That's another little thing on the list. When we get it home, I do want to get that fuel cell gone and get a conventional tank in it with a sender unit, so I know how much gas it's got. So yeah, we'll pull it out, do whatever needs doing to it, put it back in. It's definitely, I think, without a shadow of a doubt, it's savable. It may have some issues going on, but it's definitely savable. Alan Min saying a lot of interstate interchanges in the Mixmaster. You both need both of you watching signs there. Yeah, we won't be doing any live driving through Dallas. Yeah, we're going to bow out for that one. bailing. We both already we discussed that, and it's like get it down to 10 mile an hour and we're bailing, we're out. So yeah, stray bullet. Buffers are getting a good coating of carbon. Yeah, that'll just soaked in oil, but possibly. Ah, see Roma. As they say, everything is bigger in Texas. So large because large Marge. Bigger in Texas. I don't know, she's just big everywhere. JMP does that engine burn oil. And yes, the engine does burn oil. We're I would say we're averaging after 3/4 of a quart per 100 miles. You know, which is that's too much. I get that. I know that. You know, I'm not trying to pretend it's a good engine. It is a good engine because it's still running, but it's tired. It's just tired. Kurt Reed, is the oil consumption getting any better? I'd have to say yes, it is. I mean, it's not. Old engines don't heal. You know, it's not going to heal up and become good. But I mean, the first 100 miles we did, it used probably 2.5 quarts. I'm like, dang, this is going to be. We're going to put a lot of oil in it, but it has settled down. And I think it's settled down to what you could call a tolerable level. You know, when you stop at the traffic light, there's little wisps of smoke coming up, you know, out of the wheel arches and stuff like that. So she's fuming, there's no doubt. I'm good with that. I'm quite happy. If it's fuming, that means it's running. So yeah, when it stops fuming, it'll be like, oh, that means we've either stopped or we've run out of oil. So yeah. Tim Miller, Kiwi, have you done Mustang Coupe to fastback conversion? I have never done it, no. I have never done it. I haven't even been asked, funnily enough. You know, I think that would be a fun one to do. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, to be honest. I have done a fastback conversion on a Cougar Coupe, but that doesn't really count because that was really custom. So now you're going to have to do something with that 318 after you swap in the Emmy. Yeah, I must admit there's part of me that doesn't want to get rid of that engine. It kind of feels a little bit like the heart of the car, you know. But you know, maybe it's kind of equivalent to giving Christine a boob job, you know. Low part dead. Delmer and Louise have nothing on you guys. This is a far better movie.
Oh.
There you go. So, is he Thelma or is he Louise? That's my question. Does this car have safety? I'm just going to guess you're being a little facetious there, Jay, but it did have a crash pad on it. It did have, but the desert's taken care of that. That's turned to dust a long time ago, I suspect. But you can see where it was, but that's probably not a lot of help in the crash, is it really? Yeah, I should have had it. navigating. I'm not even really sure where we're going. He's looking at map now.
Where are we at?
No, where are we going? We're going on to 20. Looks like
Yeah, we're on 20. We're 48 miles from Abilene.
Yeah, we're on 20. Yeah, 48 miles from Abilene. Glenn Nickerson. What a shame we can't hear you singing, eh? Mexican speak. It's song in here. There's not a lot of stars up there, I have to say. It is just a little bit overcast. It was earlier when the light was out. Whoa, where are we going?
Never go there.
That was scary. I looked down and looked up and it was like, oh, there's an orange barrel.
We're in a little bit of road construction right now. I think they got the lanes going down to one lane.
You were down to one lane up here. Alan, man, you can pick up 30 in Dallas. I think that's what we're doing, mate. Yeah. For us, Andy A, for us gearheads, nothing like a car-related cruise. Well, that's right. That's a pretty unpleasant noise in the car, isn't it, going over those ripple strips? KB10 GL, yeah, the oil consumption is a small price to pay for this journey. Yeah, we're probably going to spend, I don't know, 60, 70 bucks on engine oil, you know, for the trip. So that's okay, we can live with it. Okay, Eric Wilson, I used the Eastwood's fuel tank in a coat on several of my motorcycles and had good results. So it's good to know, Eric, thank you. Yeah, I figure we'll probably need to do something like that. But you know, you just don't know till you get her out. You don't have to change the oil when you can, just rotate it. Well, we're not so much rotating it as relocating it. We pour it in the engine and it relocates to the highway. You know? What you gonna do? Brian Power, I'm curious how much of the speedo that old Polly can use. Look, yeah, we've been being very kind to her. She's been very kind to us, so we're paying her. You know, we're paying her back by just being gentle on her. Really, you know, I don't want to, you know, do an extra 10 miles an hour and cover more ground just to have it expire 500 miles out of Franklin. So we're just letting the engine talk to us. It's happy at 60 mile an hour. You know, in my opinion, it just sounds happier. We had it up to 70, and that was pretty effortlessly. She wasn't, you know, it wasn't running out of RPMs or anything, but it was just louder, harsher. Not really harsh, but harsher. It was just working harder, you know. And it's a long way. So yeah, we just pegged it back to 60. She's doing it really easy at 60. It's getting good gas mileage, so that's a little bonus. Yeah, we're just going to sit at that. You know, we've done 1,200 miles so far at that rate. It's not so bad. You know, I'm getting a bit tired of being overtaken by semi-trucks, but I'll get over it. You know, our day will come. You know, large Mars will live to fight another day sounds like that old Plymouth is just so happy to be out of that hole she's been stuck in for so long. I think you're exactly right, Eric. Mexican spec, civilization means more cops, watch out. That's good advice, man. That's good advice. Honestly, we're just cruising. I don't think they're going to notice us. I think it was sometime yesterday, Steve ended up in the fast lane trying to get around the truck. The next thing we knew, a state trooper overtook us on our right because we didn't get out of the fast lane quick enough. And he overtook us on the right, just went cruising past us. Did not even look over at us, and we got no plate on the bag, just a paper tag in the window, and he didn't even look at us. He just cruised on by at 70, 75. He was long gone. He was not interested in us, and we were not interested in him. Outlaw billionaires, you call it leaking, I call it undercoating. Well, that's a very good way of looking at it. Firefly, 70 miles per gallon, nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good out of this old girl with a tired motor. It's big, it's about as aerodynamic as a brick, and yeah, I think that's pretty damn good. I think you'd easy get 20 if it was a fresh, strong motor. Fill the oil and check the gas. Yeah, it's we do not stop without lifting the hood, I can tell you that much. We do not stop without lifting the hood. But so far there's really not been a lot to see. The oil's a bit wet looking, that oil's, the leaks are spraying the oil around a bit. So it's a bit wet looking, but who cares? Danny Boyd, wow, still going. Yeah man, we're still going. Well, hopefully we won't need that, but yeah, if we're inside of 500 miles, I will be phoning a friend. Mexican specs. Cops notice all the cars with no plates. They want money. Yeah, I mean, hard to argue that, but at the same, yeah, when the state trooper overtook us on the right in the slow lane, that really shocked me. Yeah, maybe he just thought we were too big of a headache and a pain in the butt, and he just didn't want to know. That's probably closer to the truth. Wildfly, not to worry, they have diplomatic immunity. Kiwi's an ambassador. I wish I had diplomatic immunity. Danny Boyd, plates are optional after COVID, okay. Yeah, Island Dram, yeah, you're right. We do have a one-way plate. Not that that's really visible when you're driving past, but yeah, we do have it. So if we do get stopped, we can say, hey, we've got the correct paperwork. Yeah. Oh, okay, Mexican speak with an automatic plate reader. In cop cars, they will obviously notice. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Billy Bob Holcomb, the factory roof rack should have a wind deflector to improve wind resistance. I thought that wind deflector on the back was to push air away from the back window, so you could drive it with the back window down. That was always been my understanding. But yeah, I think read this. Outlaw Billionaires, 69 LTD wagon, 429 auto, got about 2 gallons per mile. Yeah, that would have been thirsty. I'm sure it wasn't that bad, but it would have been thirsty. Alan, man, that motor was built when they were meant to last, yeah. Did you check the Carfax on this beast? No, we did not check the Carfax. Really don't think. Yeah, it's not been on the road since way before they were even invented. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty funny. Terence Seymour, Kiwi, I'm back, stealing New Zealand government Wi-Fi to watch your cruise. Man, that's good for you. Don't get caught, buddy. I'd hate you to lose your retirement working for the government. Z28, I always feel a little down when tractor trailers pass me. Mate, if we were letting that worry us or bother us, we'd be in deep depression by now. We've been passed by literally hundreds of semi-trailers. Hundreds of them. Oh yeah, Danny Boyd, last time their car was driven there wasn't much of an internet, no. I don't think the word had even been, well, I know the word hadn't even been invented. 1979. I didn't see Tony's video, but I did see that I saw the title. He's doing a video towing with a Cherokee. Jay White's imaginary car on the Autobahn. Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? times we stopped the gas out and asking us what it is and what we're doing. So yeah, no, it's definitely attracting some attention, which is cool. That's always fun. You know, people share, quickly share, memories of 40 years ago with you, and it's kind of cool. KB10GL, yeah, Western Australia's pretty huge, but there's not a lot there though, is there? But to be fair, Alan Mean, yeah, we just got 2050 this morning. We did our little oil run, and we got some 2050, and it probably has been a little bit better today on oil. Eric Wilson, the Plymouth is saying, hey, where did all these roads, cars and buildings come from? Yeah, imagine if she could talk. She'd have some stories to tell, I'm sure. Russ Brothers derelicts. Yeah, 2 or 3 quarts per 10 gallons. What are we doing? That's worse than this car by quite a bit. Yeah, that would have been a smoker. Glenn Nickerson, 2 clean-cut guys in a station wagon are the least of their problems. Yeah, I mean, if we had, we got enough room for a couple 100 kilos of illegal substances, but yeah, I don't think this would be the car you'd choose to transport it somehow. I mean, we're kind of so conspicuous that it just kind of rules us out completely. Let's see. Wayne Buzzell, I've heard that when you were on the gas, hang on, I'm trying to read. There's a lot of glare going on. If it smokes off the throttle, it's rings. And if it smokes when you're on the gas, it's valves. That's kind of a rule of thumb. Rings will give you smoke pretty much anywhere. The valves, like if you got bad valve guide seals, yeah, when you're on a trailing throttle, you create more vacuum inside the cylinder head ports. So yeah, on a trailing throttle, you will pull more oil than you would when you're on throttle, because you don't have anywhere as much vacuum. So yeah, that's a pretty good rule of thumb. Yeah. Stray Bullet, it was all single weight oil in the 50s. That's true, it was, wasn't it? Just opened my second beer here. Feel like I'm in the car with you guys. Yeah, it's a shame you didn't get to see it moving under its own power, Eric. I mean, you put in a solid hard day's work helping us, long day, and it was a shame you didn't get to actually see her move under her own power. But you're seeing it now, so hopefully that makes up for it. Alan Mean, it has the 318 poly motor in it, but well, kind of fairly renowned as being a solid motor, pretty indestructible, and that would large Marge is kind of proving that to be true. Diego was so sweet. Yeah, there was a lot of smiling. Everybody was just grinning from ear to ear when she fired up and stayed running. Yeah, there was a pretty good moment. You know, like that's an easy one to replay in your mind. You just replay that video in your mind, and it's right there. That was very cool, big relief. Yeah, and an impressive smoke signal out the back.
Careful out there, guys. Have fun. See you tomorrow.